Hello everyone, this is Diane, and I have these 4 kind of shabby chic looking journals completed. They're open spine journals, and I did a video which you would have seen yesterday on how I made the open spine, and it was done following a video from Heather at Ruby and Pearl XO. So you can watch my video, or on that video there's also a link to her video, so you can watch her or you can watch both. So let's just go through. My voice goes in and out, so I'm going to try not to talk too much. Like earlier today, I couldn't even talk. These are all made with a heavy-duty file folder and covered with wallpaper. So this is a vintage wallpaper, and this is a modern wallpaper. Came out of a wallpaper book. With the open spine, you can see the signature in there. It's only one signature. I forgot how many pages. But we'll figure that out. And it's tied with a sari silk, and there's fabric and lace tabs that hold the covers together. When you open it up, you can see the fabric tabs. There's a gap, and that gives you room to expand. If you added things to this journal, there's room for growth. This is just a digital book plate that I've had for a long time. Some of the ephemera pieces you saw in videos, or they are available on a video, just a few videos back from this one. There's some lace here on coffee dyed paper, and a vintage postcard. I think this is from Current. Yes, it is. Isn't that pretty? I finally used some of this beautiful lace that I got at a flea market a year or so ago. Probably going on 2 years now. And these were, you'll see the other end of this. It doesn't quite go all the way across, but it was curved at both ends. I'm not really sure what its purpose was, but I had several designs in pink and in blue. And I thought this was perfect for it. It's a little pocket here. I stamped this on vintage ledger. You can see the writing on the back. So it's, you can journal here or just use it as a decorative piece, glue it down somewhere. The two digital sets that I used, one is a more traditional looking, beautiful rose design, and that is, they're both from Polka Dot Pixels. The other, in the blue books, are more, I would call it whimsical, more modern looking. So I will link both of those kits, or I will link her shop below, Polka Dot Pixels. This one is called Floral Collage Wallpaper, I think. And the other one is called Sweet Tea. Here's a vintage postcard from 1908. And this is just a vintage piece of fabric that's so beautiful. This paper, this digital, comes with 6 beautiful sheets of paper plus a backing page. And one side of the backing page is this neutral colored gingham, and the other side it has lined paper. You'll see that. And I did some stamping, and all of the stamps are from various Sam Pool sets that I have. And I got those on Amazon. It's a book page. I did this collage, I believe, on a video to make these pockets. And this is an envelope from Vintage Stationery. I just added some stamps, again, from Sam Pool stamps. And, oh, there's a little tear right here. Here's a vintage library. It's supposed to be a card, but it's paper and a digital that I've had for a long time. You can tuck this flap down in and have these in front, but I liked having the flap hanging over there. It's another digital, or not digital, it's a... Did I say that this was digital? It's not. It's just a library card. But this is a digital. This is an Italian dictionary page. This is a beautiful glassine bag. And there's a little pocket here with a little tag. And inside each of the bags, each journal has one. I use this really cool paper. It's a spelling paper for school. So it has a space here to write how many were correct and how many were misspelled. And it says write misspelled words on the other side. Try again. I folded it up so that it wouldn't be too long and then just tucked it in there. Takes a little work to get it in there because this is such thin paper. It just wants to crumple up. I love this paper. It's from the same kit from Polka Dot Pixels. This is from a book called England is a Garden. This is a piece, one of the ephemera pieces from the other kit that I used in the more whimsical books, because that kit came with ephemera and this kit didn't. I love this piece of kind of like an eyelet blush color, and this is a vintage millinery flower. I made this just a journaling card with scrapbook paper and this little digital fussy cut. I pulled some of the ephemera that I used from my box of handmade stuff, and I used a lot of digital pieces and other pieces from just things I have. I'm trying to use up some of my stuff. Here's a piece of music paper. I folded it up and put modeling paste, texture paste, through a stencil there. We made these on a on a video, and I hadn't made the little cards to stick them on. I had just made these, but this is just some textured cardstock. I made embossed that, and I wrapped this little scrap of paper around and glued it so it doesn't move. It's glued to the back. It's open here, and it has this little rosette and some little skinny pieces of paper that you can write on. I just put the last piece down in there, and then it's paper clipped. And this is another stamp. This one is from Tailor Made Journals. Not available anymore. But I stamped that on Vintage Ledger also. And I kind of just put it behind there a little bit so that the pressure from that paper clip helps hold it in place. I made this fabric flip. This looks pale blue when it's wound around the card, and there's layers of this, but without the blue behind it, it doesn't look very blue. So I put this pretty blue fabric behind it. It's just such a beautiful lace. This is the other side of that backing paper for the digital. This is sort of like a tuck spot, except it's not glued down. Oops. I think the paper clip got caught onto some of the texture paste. It's vintage, very fragile organ music, and I had put some texture paste on there. through a stencil, and I added this little strip of a vintage measuring tape or something. It's paper, thin paper, comes on a roll. I backed it with coffee dyed file folder, which is just torn. And instead of gluing it down as a tuck spot, Heather did this in her video, and I thought it was neat because I don't want to take away that journaling space you have there. So I just paper clipped it on. And you can take it off and right there, and then you can right here also. So that's paper clipped on here, and it becomes a tuck spot for this piece of digital ephemera. This is an ephemera piece that I own. It's from 18, looks like 47, from the Jacob Biles papers that I got. A couple more digitals and some silk. It's another stamp. I put some wallpaper down the edge here. This Italian dictionary paper was quite thin, so I just tore a strip of a digital paper and reinforced it. Here's some lace here as a pocket. I just tucked in a guest check. And I recently got, just a couple of weeks ago, these papers that were from the Fashion Academy in 1954. And this lady was already printed on these papers, and then whoever owned these just designed clothing on her. So each journal gets one of those. I think I still have one left that I can keep. 1954. I thought that was pretty cool. There's just a digital. That's from Tracy Fox. I just added another digital here. I don't know. I was going to say that's tailor-made journals, but I'm not sure now. But it's just a nice embroidery design. And I sewed it on the back of this as a pocket, and I just tucked a different polka dot pixels paper in there. I had printed 2 of those, so I just cut one of them in half and split it between 2 journals. Here's another little booklet that we made on a video. It has a digital antique document, and then the pages to write on. Get some more stamping. This one, okay, I gotta tell you, I wanted these 2 stamps on the page, and I did it here, and then as I was flipping through again to make sure I had done everything, I thought, well, I wanted these stamps on here. So I did it here, and then I turned the page over and thought, oh, I did them on that side. So you get them twice. This is the other end of that lace. There's a digital postcard. Another digital. And that's a fussy cut. I stamped on vintage ledger. I dropped my ink pad. This was the last stamp I had to do for the whole series of books. And I stamped it down on the stamp pad, and when I picked it up, the pad stuck to the stamp, and then it dropped upside down on my paper. So I just covered it up with a tag. On the back is, this is wallpaper here, and this is a wallpaper border that had a fancy cut. I think it's so pretty, and I made this with vintage wrapping paper. So these will each have their own listing, because I don't have names for them, so you'll just see the picture and you'll know If you purchase that listing, you're getting what you see in the picture. This is the other one made with vintage wallpaper. This was a very fragile paper. Both of this one and the one I just showed you had fragile wallpapers, but they're very secure now. They're glued down, they're sewed around. This one, I didn't realize that I never sewed around the back cover until it was all put together. But I love this paper for some reason, I just do. It's got some silver. It's got the creases from being old and bent. Each one has different laces. And this one has blue sari silk. Pretty modern wallpaper and a digital label. This is the postcard that's here. These tabs came with the sweet tea, and this journal has the sweet tea kit, and you'll see it's more modern looking flowers rather than the traditional look, so I called it whimsical. And it comes with different things like tags, cards, the tabs. This one has the blue lace on it, and this one had a few different backing pages. So I think there were 6 main pages, like for the front, and then several different backing pages. The library card again. You'll see some of these things in different placements. It just depended on the book page. I didn't want to cover up certain things. I love the blue check here that I used. It's from 1892. Of course, this is just a printable of it, but I own this check. This one has a blue and aqua colored bag. And they all have the same spelling list paper inside. This one has like a cotton lace with a millinery flower. Same sorts of things in there. This is one of my vintage brass safety pins, and I don't think I put them on all of them, so I'll go back and do that. There's a blue check in there too. Each one has a stamp of my Tiffany & Company stamp on coffee dyed paper. This is a strip that came with the kit. Look at that beautiful strawberry paper. Here's the fashion drawing. There's a postcard. This is a replica postcard, but I really liked the shape of it. And the image is adorable. And this is a tag I pulled out of my stash. I needed things to fill up all these pockets. I added a tab to these papers that I put in here so that you'd know, because I kept flipping through and forgetting that that was a pocket there. Here's another tag I pulled out of my stash. This is wallpaper, vintage wallpaper, and it's glued to coffee dyed paper. That's the same wallpaper that's on the front and back covers of this journal. And another tag from my stash. This is from a craft book. And a wallpaper piece. Those are both wallpaper pieces. Sometimes it's a little hard to get things underneath this. So I'm using my Fuller brush salesperson letter opener. The person who reserved one of these said she would like a blue whimsical. Well, these are both blue, but this has a blue background, so I'm going with this one. I'm thinking this is the one she wants. So this one is reserved. I'm just going to do a quick flip through. I just love this fabric with the turquoise on it. It's a thin fabric. It's just a strip of fabric on a roll, and it's vintage. It came from a ladies' clothing mill. They usually made lingerie, but I think this came from there. I got it at a yard sale, and she had a bunch of stuff from there. This is a piece of that embroidered and lacy trim that I got at a flea market a few years ago. So another beautiful vintage postcard and a piece of feed sack fabric. This is a sheer lace with yellow embroidery and a card with a wax seal. This is actually part of a greeting card that was printed on it, and I covered up the greeting, I think, on there. Vintage greeting card. Something happened up here too. I think I got some ink here somehow, and I had this little fabric tab just hanging out on my table. It was left over from something else. It's got a few hand stitches up there, and it went with the feel of the book and the color, so I just glued that on there. It's just a little bonus for you. There's a strip there. I have this here ready because I'm thinking must be this book is missing it, because I keep forgetting that's a pocket page, so I have to go back and make sure it goes in there. Napkin decoupage tag, and then I did collage on it. Another one I pulled from my stash. This is wallpaper. And another tag that I made. It's on a book page. And maybe this book didn't get one because I didn't want to cover things up on the book pages. Didn't get the full page pocket is what I'm looking for. Yep, it didn't. So I'm just going to put this page here, so at least you'll have that to write on. So there's that one. And the last one is another with the traditional floral collage wallpaper kit. And this is a modern wallpaper, and it's just so beautiful. And it has little scraps of embroidered linens for the tags, and I added little sheer lace. This was also like a doily, but a sheer fabric with embroidery on it. It just made beautiful tabs. I can't pick a favorite of these books, though I love them all. This was down here in the middle instead of up here because I didn't want to cover up those flowers. A vintage postcard. Beautiful. There's another vintage postcard. Blank on the back. There's another tag that was in my stash. This is scrapbook cardstock, but this was fussy cut. It's a digital. I made digitals out of these with old magazines that I had. There's a little bit of velvet ribbon up there, and this pretty ribbon that I got at a flea market. It's a gorgeous tag. I love it. That's a Mrs. Cogg's image left over from a different project. This is from a digital that used to be in my shop. This is an illustration from an early 1900s book that I had. Some vintage wallpaper again. And I love this wallpaper border. Makes a great pocket here. So these journals were quite fun to make, and I think they're beautiful. And I have to thank Heather from Ruby and Pearl XO because these journals were inspired by her. I followed her video to do the binding, but also a lot of the elements in there were inspired by her. So thank you, Heather. She probably doesn't watch my channel, but I'll say that anyway. And I will link her video. Well, that was linked in the previous video, but I'll link it in this one also that shows how to put the covers together. And I will link the digital kits below. And these, today's Wednesday, and I will not be home for much of the day tomorrow. I mean, today's Tuesday. You're going to see this on Wednesday, and I'll be away from home. So I'm going to put these in my shop before I leave the house. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that when I get home. So it'll be in the evening on Wednesday. I'm not going to give you a time because I don't know what time I'll be home. I should be home before 6, so I'm going to say 6 o'clock, okay? That little corner of wallpaper wanted to come up, and it was tearing off because it's fragile. Okay, so I'm going to say, if I can, these will be in my shop at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, the day you see this video. So you can head on over to the shop and pick out the one you like, throw it in your cart, and take it home with you. And I appreciate it so much. And I'll be having some other things listed in my shop. I've been doing more destashing and more processing of flea market finds. So I've got some more things I'm about ready to start listing in the shop. So keep an eye on my shop, because there will be new things popping in there very frequently. Thanks for watching, and have a creative day today. Bye-bye.